There it is. Hey, Juice.
Morning.
How you?
Fabulous.
So you get the red hat on today.
Yeah. MAGA.
So, we did this big, long podcast on use of force. Right?
Yeah.
People missed the point that the whole episode was on use of force, not Trump versus liberals.
Oh,
We got into that a little bit.
We went there, did we?
We did. But anyway, on TikTok, we've triggered a lot of people. They're saying that, everybody should have been mowed down that day and all this stuff.
So they don't understand the law?
They
the
don't.
Use of deadly force?
They don't. So this past weekend, it's March 30th, right?
Mhm.
We had the No Kings protest.
Yeah.
I saw videos of them actually kicking fences of federal property, and some of them actually infiltrated the ICE facility in Portland.
Oh, should they have been mowed down?
That's what I asked them. Hey, in that logic, they should all have been shot in the face.
Yeah.
Right?
With a cannon.
Yeah. I mean, you got weak liberal men. Well, I'm sorry. There's a difference between liberal and leftist.
There is. Big difference.
You got weak leftist men, right? Let's say that.
Right.
That are coming in. They're not a threat. They have little chests and stuff.
Yeah.
Little shoulders. Their shoulders are kind of sunk in real weird. But what do you think of that?
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, use of force. That girl went in. Now everybody said she wasn't the first one. She was the first one through the window.
No,
that
she
window.
was not.
She was. But for 30 minutes, people were roaming around the building, the protesters.
Yeah.
Behind the guy. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Anyway.
Cops let them in.
Pelosi was directing traffic.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was or not. I just like saying that.
No, she wasn't, but that's funny.
She started the whole thing.
Oh, I fully believe she's behind it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got a question, Juice.
Okay.
So for the January 6th, what was that committee? The committee that, said, we're all evil and all that stuff.
The lying committee? I call it the liar's bench.
How come all their evidence was destroyed?
Oh, well, because there was no evidence that proved they were telling the truth.
They just made up stuff.
It was fabricated. Of course it was.
I mean, there was a few guys there that were wrong. And if you trespass or touch a cop, you should be put in jail, right?
Right. But don't you think if they had all this evidence and they wanted to prove their side to all of the world, they would have released it?
It should have been it should have been a public hearing. Like we could have logged into C-SPAN and watched it.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't. It was all silent.
No, of course it was.
Shifty Schiff.
Because they want to make sure that nobody actually said Pelosi's name.
Shifty Schiff. Adam Schiff.
So. Yeah. They did.
Who's that one from Wyoming? What's her name? He used to be the vice president. Cheney's daughter.
Cheney. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he was real proud of that. Proud of her for that. But Cheney was an extremist.
He was.
A right-wing extremist.
He was. She was the rhino, though.
Yeah. She just there to make money, man.
Yeah.
Write a book.
That's all it was. She was living off her dad's name.
Living off daddy.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I love Wyoming. That's a shame. I don't think the Wyomingites were like it.
I would never live there.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because Cheney's from there?
Because Liz Cheney's there.
They got good ones now, I think. So
yeah, I don't know who they have.
You don't care? You just don't care?
No. If it was up to me, I'd retire and move to Japan.
Japan?
Yeah.
Did you go there in the Marines at all?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody I knew that went there said they loved it. They wanted to go back.
I did. I loved it.
There was guys in 5th Force Recon and 3rd Recon Battalion that lived there for 12 years.
Yeah.
Like they didn't leave.
Dude, it's awesome over there. I would retire and move back if I could.
Yeah. I never went over there. I never, my furthest east I've been is Afghanistan.
So you did med cruises and stuff.
I did. I was European, Middle East, all that bull crap. Never went to South America.
Yeah. I got both sides.
Did you South America?
I did. I was on the West Coast, so I can do Westpacks, and then I hit the East Coast. We did med cruises.
Westpacks, Australia, Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Indonesia, all that
good
stuff.
Times, good times.
Thailand. We're not going to get into Thailand.
No, we'll not.
We'll get censored.
But then there's the Philippines.
Oh, yeah. They like the Americans over there.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, so what'd you do this weekend, Juice?
I worked.
So what's Speedy's company's name?
Michael's Tree Service.
Michael's Tree Service. Bing.
Yeah.
We call him Speedy from high school.
Yeah.
He did a good job for you this weekend.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome.
I wish I had his phone number. I'd call it out on the air here. So.
Yeah, I have it, but I don't know where it's at.
Yeah,
but he did a great job, man. Him and his whole team came in, slayed 15 trees, cleaned them up, gone off the property in 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Did they get the stumps up?
No, I'll have somebody else get the stumps.
You get a grinder?
Yeah, I'll get a stump grinder in there.
We had those guys come around. That's not cheap, stump grinding.
No.
And you watch them, now it's the equipment you're paying for. They turned it on and kind of just stand there. So, but
yeah, and that blade just keeps going back and forth.
Right, but it costs you money every time that blade pass through.
It does.
Make sure it goes below the dirt and then covers it up. So.
I thought about just letting them rot out.
They'll start growing back if you're not careful. So.
Well, not after what I do to them, they won't.
Oh, did you put poison on them?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll kill them all.
They'll start drying up over the next 12 to 15 years.
Yeah. They'll dry up enough that I can burn them out.
Yeah, burn the ground.
Yeah.
But so we get a lot of requests, Jus, to talk about digital forensics. And I know you were studying up on that a little bit.
Yes. It's not my forte. It's not really strong in my wheelhouse.
But you worked with me on some. How we gather info and intel and all that stuff. And we did a case up in Indiana. I'm not going to get into the names and all that stuff. You went up there and helped me a little.
Oh, that's the first one we went on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But something came back on that where they were like, hey, you can only work digital cases in Indiana. All right. And I said, that was a digital case. Right.
Okay.
We didn't do no surveillance. They said, well, you did background stuff. I was like, that's called reconnaissance.
Yeah.
We had suspects and we did a background on them. So we didn't go do surveillance on them. We didn't question witnesses or nothing like that. We did a background on them. So I don't know. People were stupid.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to do the background in the state of Indiana.
You can
do it here.
I did it here from my couch.
Exactly.
Probably something with Clint Eastwood on TV. But
too many people watch SVU and Liv and Finn Tutuola did this and that. No, that's not how it works.
Finn Tuola.
Yeah, Finn Tutuola. Yeah, that's what's his name? Ice-T on the show.
Ice-T?
Yeah.
It's interesting that he does. I've watched that. It's a pretty good show, but
yeah, the show is good. But I mean, you can't base everything on that show because there's a lot of stuff in there that's just false. It's bad information, but people think they're attorneys and they start spewing all this garbage. Well, I seen it on SVU.
That goes back to the deadly force discussion. All these people are experts in deadly force.
How many of them have actually seen the use of force matrix?
You and I practice use of force most of our adult lives. So
yeah,
but
from 18 to 47
in real life. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
people trying to kill us and stuff. But anyways, I did that one. We do. There's always a suspect when you're talking about hackers. Right. We'll do a background and see if they've stolen a subject's identity, those kind of things. But we didn't do it. We didn't do surveillance, boots on the ground or nothing like that.
No, we did not.
Went up there and picked up some stuff and drove back is basically what we did. So, but anyway, so we got in this one day about Morrison versus Morrison. That's the deleted messages and WhatsApp threads, where it was only 12,500, but the lady got half the hidden assets, which was $2.3 million. Right. Good investment, by the way.
Yeah.
188 to 1 return on investment, Jus.
That is not bad.
You're not going to get that on the stock market or real estate.
Well, Nancy Pelosi could.
Well, you got to be a member of Congress to get those things. All sides do that, by the way.
Oh yeah,
it's not just
the left.
Marjorie Trader Green got rich off of
that. Yeah, she did.
But anyways, she's mad because she didn't get a job with Trump. But that's why she's fussing.
She turned on him so fast.
She didn't get hired, so she's fussing about him on The View now.
Yeah,
they told me one other post said, "You guys shouldn't be political." It's all around us. I'm going to be political. So,
okay.
Anyway,
don't make comments about politics if you don't want to hear our opinion. Turn the channel.
Go to the next podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this one here was a hidden Bitcoin. So this guy, what happened was they did a forensic recovery of a phone. All right. And at first glance at the phone, it looked like nothing was on there. Right. But they found WhatsApp like traces of WhatsApp.
Of course they did.
And the cloud footprints, we call it, or some call it fingerprints. You sort of store stuff in the cloud. It still leaves a trace on the device, whether it's the computer or the phone, and then you can track, it gives you a clue, and you track that clue down. That's where they found the guy had a hidden Bitcoin wallet worth $4.5 million. When he found out, the guy's stupid, so immediately he tried to cash it.
Oh, my God.
So he got an spoliation and all that. Anyway, people try to hide this stuff now. Now, in 1999, when you had a few people had a Nokia or the brick phone. Remember those in the car?
Oh, yeah.
My dad had one of those in his truck.
Yeah.
That thing, the battery would last for years.
Oh, yeah.
And you could be in the middle of nowhere and that thing would pick up a signal.
Yeah.
Now the battery lasts like 3 seconds and
yeah. This depends on how many apps you got running.
Right. if I'm using my phone a lot during the day, that battery, I got to plug it in pretty quickly. So, but yeah, the old brick phone. Yeah, that stuff didn't get saved to the cloud. It was saved locally, so you could delete it and get on with your day.
Right.
But now, stuff that you don't even realize is being saved in the cloud.
Oh, yeah.
I was messing with my pool vacuum, starting to get our pool opened up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the data from last year saved in the cloud.
Imagine that.
But I'm saying little stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It's called the Internet of Things now, right? IoT.
Right.
And everything's saved. The cookies are saved in the cloud, so it makes life convenient for you. But it also can burn you if you're trying to commit a crime or hide something. So,
you don't really ever get rid of anything.
No.
It's always there.
Right. We don't, used to back in the day, they would find clues like where people printed something and they found it.
Oh, yeah.
That was
the mimeographs.
You could get rid of evidence back in the day.
Yeah,
now you
typewriter set. Yeah. Type out a letter and send it in like the Zodiac killer and all that with his codes.
Yeah. Oh, he'd have been busted already now.
Oh, yeah. Now? Yeah, he would have been had.
Because he'd put on
all his little squiggles and arrows and...
Well, AI would have figured that thing out.
Oh, yeah.
We got AI now that uses all the data from, I think it's 2000 till now, collected over the internet and figures out things. That's all AI is, by the way. So
right.
But yeah, it's interesting that people try to get away with this stuff and it's hidden, it's out there. So best thing to know, if you're going through a divorce now, just say, yeah, we got this money.
Yeah, just be clean about it because you're going to get busted.
And then if you lie in court and all that, you could get a criminal
charges.
Charge put on you. Spoliation, all these different things.
All kind. Yeah.
Especially if you make that judge really, really mad. So
yeah. And it's easy to make a judge mad.
Yeah, they could send that thing over to the criminal side pretty quickly. So
absolutely.
There's some Signal messages too that a lot of people they think Signal is the Signal app. Mm-hmm. It is a secure texting app. Okay. But it's between users.
Right.
So if you don't have Signal, it's very, very difficult to do what we call a man-in-the-middle attack, where somebody intercepts that message between us. If they do intercept it, they can't encrypt it, right? Over the air or whatever, they hack that message and get it. Now, on the user side, on the device side, it's not secure at all.
No.
So if you get that on your phone and I get into your phone and I can see all your Signal stuff. So there's another one here where this guy had 63,000 hidden. He'd transferred it to his buddy, the banker, to hold it for him. And they pulled that up and they did a digital forensics on his phone and then found those messages and then subpoenaed the banker. And he said, yes, that's what happened. So,
well, the part of the problem is these creators, these apps, mm-hmm. they tell everybody, hey, we don't save your stuff on file.
Whatever.
This is the most covert. Well, what's the one the kids use? Snapchat. Mm-hmm. So Snapchat always boasted, oh, we once you shut your phone down or you get out of the message, it's gone. It can't be traced. Mm-hmm. That is such a lie.
If I get your phone, it's there, man.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that phone.
Or whatever, tablet, whatever.
Yeah.
We had a kid locally, and he was taking pictures of girls in high school. He's a high school kid himself.
Yeah.
He'd been moved between schools. Like here in DeKalb County, they just move him around to school. They don't put him in juvie. They go, oh, he messed up over here. Let's move him to the other school.
Yeah.
Anyway, they asked me to recover the data on that phone. I said, okay, I'll do it. And I had to do it in the presence of, a secure. I couldn't do it here because it had children on there, right?
Right.
And he's a child, he's not a child pornographer. He's just another kid. But they said it's on Snapchat. We can't get it. So we hooked it up and immediately found who it wasn't on it. He's in juvie now. But anyway.
It's on Snapchat. You can't get it. Come on.
Especially if you have the device, man, you can get it. So here's a custody modification one. So we get these a lot. So recover deleted text message from an 18 months earlier demonstrated a pattern of a parental alienation. Using mobile forensic tools. Experts pulled the messages even after the sender believed they were gone. The court admitted the evidence and modified custody in favor of the other parent. Illinois courts routinely accept such forensic recoveries when properly authenticated. Similar recoveries happen frequently in family law, proven infidelity, threats, or unfit parenting. So that case was parental alienation. The guy was actually chatting with his child on the child's phone. and the other parent was saying, your daddy don't love you and all this stuff. And the kid was recording it. And the one parent, the alienating parent, found it and tried to delete it, but they recovered it. So parental alienation is not a good thing, man. So,
yeah. Parents that do that, you have serious issues.
Yeah. They paint the other person. If you split up, you're not going to like each other.
No, my first wife, my second wife, I don't talk to my first wife at all. I haven't talked to her at all.
Mm-hmm.
I never badmouthed her in front of my son.
Right.
Now she did it.
Yeah. She was the alienator.
Me. My most recent ex-wife, I'm not going to bash my daughter in front of her or bash her in front of my daughter. And she is not bashing me in front of my daughter. Because if she was, my daughter would tell me.
Right.
But that's one thing. You don't do that. Don't try and pit a child against a parent.
Yeah.
That's just so wrong on so many different levels.
Now, if one parent's evil, abusive and all that, yes, we're going to get the police involved and all that.
Right.
But if it's just because you don't like each other, because you had a bad relationship and something happened, you got to get past it. These kids are relying on both of you.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Not just one.
And it's not right to try to alienate them from another. I don't care if you remarry and all that stuff.
Nope.
So
that's just wrong. You don't do that.
But I've even seen them where somebody was in jail or had a drug problem. They went away, got their life in order, and came back, and they even they introduced them to the kids.
Yeah.
But that's good. Let them know where they come from. Let them be in their life if they're acting right.
Yeah. I was just going to say, if they're doing right, that's a great thing.
Now, if they still got meth teeth in it, well, meth teeth don't go away unless you get implants. But if they still are hooked on meth, dealing drugs, hooking, whatever.
That's different.
Yeah, let's don't do it. You don't want the kids around that. All right, let's get some more of these, Jews. These are good. You said you weren't going to know much about digital forensics, but see here, you know a lot.
Yeah, but it's not my wheelhouse. It's really this. You're the nerdy one.
Am I?
Yeah, more than me.
Okay. So Jus is good. Let's talk about where you're good. This is me looking at Jus. Jus can go out and solicit information from just random people through conversation. And it's good. I can do it too, but I'm not as patient as Jus is with it. So I get frustrated. I'm like, I'm going home. But anyway, but if they start talking to me immediately, I'm pretty good. I can entertain them, but you got more patience. You'll keep talking.
You got to draw it and draw it and draw it out of them. Yeah.
Right. You're better at that than I am. But so we got a hidden vault app, calculator style. How about that?
Oh,
I've got experience with that one in my family from a previous teenager we had in the house. All right. We'll just say that.
Right.
Vault apps disguised as calculators have been cracked in real investigations. In one Connecticut case, forensic analysts of an Android Vault app helped reconstruct 66 incriminated images and 18 videos previously thought to be hidden or deleted. The recovered files revealed additional victims and supported prosecution. That was child pornography, by the way.
Right.
These apps often store data in predictable database locations or within weak breakable encryption, making them recoverable via file system extraction. So that's where they have even when you open it, it still looks like a calculator.
Right.
But you put in some kind of password in the
and it
keypad and it opens up what it really is. So
the bad thing is people create these apps.
Mm-hmm.
They're not perfect.
Yep.
So if people can create them, by the time they're out for everybody, somebody's already hacked them.
Right.
They already know how to get into them.
Right.
You're not getting away with anything.
That's correct. And, me and you grew up in the 80s and 90s.
I will go 70s, 80s.
Well, I was in the 70s too.
Yeah.
But if we had phones that we could record with, me and you'd be in prison.
Oh. Ooh.
We'd be in prison right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
You could get away with more back then because it wasn't recorded all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll tell you this story though. My dad, we had an old junker car my uncle had. It was sitting in his yard with trees growing up, an old 79 Mustang.
Right.
All right. And my dad kept it over there for a while. You might have seen it. I don't know. But anyway, that thing on the outside, it looked awful. Even the interior was like we had plywood we put in for floorboards and stuff like that.
Oh, a classic.
But it had a 302 Boss with 4-barrel on there.
Nice.
We rebuilt it. Me and my dad did. It was like a labor of love me and him did in the shop over there.
Yeah.
Put that joker in and it would scream, son.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go out here in Montesana Highway in the straightaways and race. And I won about $2,000 one night. All right. And came back, through about 4 tanks of gas.
Yeah.
It's about $20 for 4 tanks back then. 99 cents a gallon or something. But anyways, came back up to the Shot and Go. You know all these places.
Oh, I do.
And he was waiting on me. My dad was. That was a Saturday night, about midnight. And the next morning, he made me get up and made me go to Nazareth Baptist Church and put every cent of that in the offering plate.
Yeah, it's amazing.
How did the word get out?
I don't know, but every time I did something, I'd get home. Yeah. Dad already knew about it.
And we didn't have Facebook then or nothing.
No.
They didn't have cell phones. You had the old ring. We might have had a push button on the wall.
Yeah.
At one point, but
we had the dial ones at the time. But
we had those early, but then I remember we got fancy and got the push button later.
Yeah, I remember when they came out too.
And we got a cordless. Remember that? You could walk around the yard like.
No, we weren't. There was no cordless in my house.
I came later in life.
Yeah.
But anyway, he took that car from me, and I was grounded for a year from it. I was like going into senior year. The next Monday, I had to go to school. And I was going to get on my bicycle and ride it up. I wasn't far from the school. You knew where I grew up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he said, nope, you don't get anything with wheels. Made me walk. And he followed me behind me. And
your dad was hardcore.
Yeah. He had warned me about spinning the tires and stuff. It's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
He was tired. He was just done with it. He gave me a bunch of warnings about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, and finally, I got out of high school and he finally gave me my car back, and I went in the Marines shortly after that.
So. Yeah.
But he kept that car for quite a while. I'd come home and drive it around. It was fun driving it. But it would fly. It was heavy. I mean, it was a lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
Now, if you drove it now, you'd go broke because that thing got about 6 miles a gallon. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't be driving it long.
Mm-hmm. But the point is, how did they know? How did word get out so quick?
I have no idea. My dad knew things that, like, I did something by myself.
Mm-hmm.
He knew about it when I got home. I'm like, I don't get it.
Right.
How?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there were times that the cops called him and said, your son did this. And they all knew my dad. And they said, just bring him over when you're ready.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, we're going to eat. And then before I have to kill you, I'm going to take you over to Borough Building.
Yeah.
But he knew everything.
We had Junior Garmany as the 5 police chief for a while. You probably saw his name on some stuff.
I love Junior. He was awesome.
Him and my dad were buddies.
Yeah.
Right? And I got in a fight up there one night at 5. And it was not, and then the Junior showed up, broke us up.
Yeah.
And took us up to the old jail where there's like
the storefront,
like a boutique now there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had me sitting in there. He goes, I'm going to call your dad. And I said, please. I said, can I just stay here? And he started laughing. He goes, nope. But Dad wasn't that mad over fighting, as long as it was the right thing. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Dad was cool with it.
As long as you're fighting over it, you weren't picking on somebody.
Yeah, he was one. You better not start it.
Yeah, that's how.
But if it comes your way, you better finish it.
Yep, we were fighting over the guy stole money from me.
Well, then he deserved it.
I kind of got beat up though.
Well.
He was much bigger and older than me. So.
Doesn't matter.
I tried, right?
Doesn't matter. You just got to show up and stand up.
I had a busted nose and like tore my ear a little bit and stuff like that. But I tried. Now, I bit the guy's lip and he had to have stitches in his face. So,
well, I guess you got your money's worth.
Like I told people, you may beat me up, but you're going to carry it for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're going to remember it. So,
yeah.
Because I don't fight fair.
There is no fair fight.
No. Especially when you're trying to kill me.
Yeah.
And he shoved me up under a car and banging my face off the concrete.
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
I had hair then. They could grab my hair. Now he can do it. I'd have won now. He couldn't grab my hair.
Yeah, they're not going to do it now.
All right, Juice, what else we got on this one?
I don't know. What else?
We hammered it out, man. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But, all right, we're going to get off for this one. We'll be back shortly with another episode of the Hidden Threads Podcast. Did I use my radio voice more? Voice more?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Bye, y'all.